Greenbar Mortgage Demonstration Series, Part 3, Putting the Borrower in the Safest Possible Position. So, what do we mean when we say that Greenbar makes a recommendation that will put the borrower in the safest possible position? What makes Greenbar unique is how it seamlessly integrates a standardized personal finance decision model into the mortgage origination process that measures the strength of the borrower's financial foundation and their commitment to managing their lives in a financially responsible manner. The benchmark criteria that Greenbar uses when making its selection is the Greenbar Standard. The Greenbar Standard is a simple, common sense, standardized, and universally accepted set of personal finance standards that are used by hundreds of thousands of financial planners and advisors. In a nutshell, the Greenbar Standard establishes a clear, concise, and easily accepted set of criterion that any reasonably responsible person would adhere to when making an important financial decision, such as a mortgage strategy. In Greenbar Mortgage, the Greenbar Standard is represented by what we call the four-step cash model. Every conversation with a client begins by either introducing them to or revisiting the four-step cash model. The four-step cash model establishes the parameters that are used when selecting a mortgage strategy. It serves as the filter that we run every mortgage solution through, and its purpose is to ensure that we are putting the borrower in the safest possible financial position given their current situation. In fact, the entire Greenbar mortgage origination process is one of identifying the mortgage strategy which achieves all of the objectives of the four-step cash model the fastest. The cash model is very simple and common sense. We're not trying to go deep with the concept of blending the act of getting a mortgage with a financial strategy. We're simply setting the stage for helping the borrower make a well thought out decision. The cash model helps us get buy-in from the borrower on the criteria that are going to be used when it comes time to select a mortgage strategy. The cash model creates a standard. We're able to take a snapshot of the borrower's current financial situation and then compare it to the standard. Then we compare the proposed mortgage strategy to their current situation and the standard to determine if we are putting the borrower in a more safe financial position or a less safe financial position. As you learn about the cash model, you're going to notice that there are aspects which, for discussion purposes, are specific. But it's important to understand that the cash model is really used primarily as a guideline and teaching concept. The cash model consists of 4 steps. Step 1 is the creation of an emergency reserve or cash cushion. This is probably the single most important step for anyone who is serious about acting in a financially responsible way. Financial success is almost entirely dependent on developing good habits. Establishing an emergency reserve is the first step in adopting the good habits that will serve a person for the rest of their life. It's the difference between being reactive rather than proactive when making financial decisions. An emergency reserve enables people to avoid living paycheck to paycheck. It teaches them to live within their means. It is the tool that one uses to manage the day-to-day cash flow of a household so that when something simple happens, such as needing to repair the brakes on a car, a person can cover the expense and doesn't have to put it on a credit card and carry the balance. There isn't a magic number for this step, but for employed persons whose income is steady, you will typically seek to create a cash cushion of $3,000 to $5,000. For individuals that are self-employed with seasonal or fluctuating income, we recommend a little more protection in the form of a $5,000 to $10,000 cash cushion. For now, don't worry about where this money comes from. You'll see that in a minute. Step 2 is the elimination of non-mortgage debts, or leaks as we like to call them. Leaks represent the hard-earned money that borrowers are systematically giving away each month and represents dollars that could be saved and invested. In fact, one of the things we tell people is that it's pretty hard to get wealthy if you're giving away all of your money each month. Typically, non-mortgage debts that don't have any kind of tax advantage, take the form of auto loans, student loans, and carrying credit card balances. The job of the Greenbar originator is to plug the leaks as quickly as possible. Step 3 is where it begins to get fun. We're teaching clients how to save money again or increase the amount of their savings. It's about creating the liquidity that provides protection against the financial bumps that can happen in life. Step 3 is the creation of a liquid savings account, which begins with accumulating an equivalent of 1 year's worth of household income. This is how we show consumers how to create liquidity and build significant wealth. So, if you're meeting with someone whose gross household income is $100,000 per year, you might ask them, if you had $100,000 in the bank, no debt other than your mortgage, and a cash cushion, what would happen if you were to lose your job? Would you be worrying about making next month's mortgage payment or buying the groceries or even needing to visit the doctor? Of course not. You've got liquidity and can weather that storm for quite a while. And on the flip side, if everything is going along great and your job is doing well and you have liquidity, no debts, and a cash cushion, now you're in a position to take advantage of any business or investment opportunities that might come along. And step 4 is to put the borrower in a position to where they can pay off the mortgage, if they wanted to, in the shortest possible time. We're saying it that way because we're not advocating that they strive to pay off the mortgage as quickly as possible. We simply want to give them that choice as quickly as possible. Let's do a recap. The purpose of the 4-step cash model is to demonstrate how important it is to laser focus on step 1, then go to step 2, 3, and 4. The mistake most people make is they sprinkle dollar bills over each of the steps in an attempt to accomplish them and make themselves feel good. The result is that they do a little bit of everything but don't accomplish anything. The Greenbar mortgage origination process is one of using the 4-step cash model to take a snapshot of a consumer's current financial foundation and then comparing their current situation to the proposed mortgage strategy. In essence, what Greenbar Mortgage does is make it possible for the loan originator to take all of the confusing and complicated stuff that consumers see when getting a mortgage and condenses everything down to a level which asks and answers the simple question, does this mortgage strategy put the consumer in a more safe financial position or a less safe financial position? But more importantly, the Greenbar origination process is one of providing a mortgage strategy to consumers that can be easily understood, is presented in a way that has direct meaning to the borrower on a personal level, and guarantees that the borrower can make the right decision every time. After being introduced to the cash model, it's not uncommon for clients to make a comment that the cash model is simple and makes perfect sense, and they would love it if their situation resembled the ideal cash model. But they can't imagine how you're going to fix their messed up financial life. In the next video, we'll show you exactly how that's done.